Welcome to Culture No Cap Podcast. I'm your host, Eric Spencer, along with co-host Reverend Eric Helton in the building. And we also have Bridge of Unity President Greg Brewer and also Sly, the Juneteenth celebration in Elkin. Welcome to the show.
Yes, sir. How you doing, big guy?
Good, man.
Thank you for having us.
Thank y'all for coming on the show. So let's just get started, man. First of all, I've heard great things. I haven't been to the Juneteenth celebration in Elkin, but I've heard great things about it. How did you all get started?
Well, we got started, man. It was probably 5 years ago when we actually proclamated the actual Juneteenth. And the following year, we actually had our first Juneteenth festival. And it was kind of crazy because it was on the brinks of the George Floyd incident. And a lot of people thought that that was the movement that we were doing the Juneteenth for. But actually, it was a year prior to that we proclamated Juneteenth. But and because of that, man, a lot of people joined in because of one incident that was happening that had nothing to do with the Juneteenth. But it brought together a mass of people, man, at a time that we actually needed unity. And right in Elkin, we started, this is our 4th year in Elkin, and Greg and I single-handedly, there's no other, you're looking at our board right now, just he and I single-handedly put this thing together and had a couple of help, some help here and there from people in the community, but yeah, just looking at the board, and that's how we started, brother.
Okay. What about you, Greg?
Yeah, so just a little bit to add to that. Nothing really I can add, but when several years ago, there was a lot of folks in a room, and we were just thinking about ways that we could work together and bring the community together. And at the time, it was just a thought and really something that Sly brought up, and then I just showed up, kind of looking around, trying to figure out how I could fit in on this, and I'm thinking, well, there's a lot of people here, and I don't really know if I'm going to have much to add or much to give or whatever. And then, a few days go by, and it was a few less people. A few more months go by, and it was like just me and Sly. And then you keep fast forwarding, and it's still just me and Sly, right? We started. It was, we didn't set out for it to just be, a couple guys that have just kind of ran with this thing. But it's kind of happened that way. And it's not to say that people haven't supported us along the way. Certainly they have. But there's, when we got rolling, we had this massive, in our minds thinking, man, everybody's just going to be all over, trying to help and trying to be involved. And we've had some of the same folks that have stayed, rode along with us through this thing, both from a volunteer standpoint, as well as sponsors and other types of folks in the community. But it's really been a good chance for me, really, as a friend. It's brought me a brother in my life along the way too, that I didn't have prior to this. So for me, that's been a real positive thing from it. Certainly what we were looking to do in the community is provide somewhere where, and just to, our mission statement is that we exist to promote positive dialogue that seeks to unite the local community in peace, love, and equity. And as we were thinking through, there were several of us that were thinking through, what are we trying to do as an organization? What really would define us? And that's where we landed. And then, fortunately and unfortunately, the one thing that we have done every year and this is our 4th one, is this Juneteenth event. So we have a lot of other plans, a lot of other things we'd love to be able to do, things that we hope we're able to do in the future to continue to bring the community together in different ways. But for the last 4 years, it's been centered around Juneteenth event.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. So we talk about community involvement. Mm-hmm. How important, Sly, is community involvement with this event?
Well, that's what we're trying to create right now. The importance of it is to a degree that it has to be a necessity for it to work. So we have been putting forth when I like to piggyback off what Greg just said. He didn't know me. I didn't know him from Adam and Eve. I had this idea of putting together this nonprofit organization. Like he said, there's a plethora of people there, and it just ended up being he and I. So the importance of bringing people together. Once we started a mass of people, now we only have two. It's very important to bring the people together. I mean, we have done that. We've created an environment of not only of Juneteenth, it's a very diverse environment. Um, we have people coming not only as Hispanics and Caucasians and other people, but we have people coming from outside the cities, and the involvement of bringing people together has been massive. I think last year um, we were on WXI a couple of years, but last year they put out posters and things on in New York and Times Square buildings and showed the diversity of Juneteenth in Elkin, North Carolina. I thought that was massive and a great scenario. So the importance of bringing people together, man, that's the only reason why we're here. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm not doing Juneteenth just for Black people. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing Juneteenth so everybody can share the importance of the freedom that made us now Americans. So now it's to be unified and to be added in the culture of being an American is very important to me. You know what I mean? And that's how I look at that.
Nice. Yeah, I think Eric.
Well, I heard you mentioned that you guys are a nonprofit, and you mentioned that there are things beyond Juneteenth that you want to look at. Can you give me some type of idea on what type of things you're looking at? Juneteenth is good, and it's a big celebration, but I know you guys would like to see. Well, let's not just do Juneteenth to Juneteenth.
Yes, sir. Well, yeah. So to add to that, we've been vigilant in the community as well. I do a lot of things, man. As far as like we bring together the youth. I have a building, I have a barbershop downtown in Elkin. It's called Midtown Barber. I leased another building directly beside it. It's a storefront building. I've had several things there that we've been putting in place. We've had after school programs there. We have weightlifting there. We have gaming rooms there. We're looking to do something else there. But when it comes to Bridge of Unity, what we're looking for now is we don't want this, like I said, to be just a cultural thing. But we are going to do an MLK breakfast because in Elkin we don't have that. So that's going to be one thing. Greg has a mention about bringing just youth together, ministering to young men and women. People who just come forward just need to talk, just need to get things on their mind because we know right now with the way children are, with the mindsets that they have, they need outlets outside of parents and friends of their own. They need guidance now. So, Greg, you can add on to that. But we're trying to do a lot more than just Juneteenth, Eric. And it's good. I coach football, like I said. I have access to over 200 some odd kids that I deal with. I just got the Main Street Champion Award. It's a big award that they give for people downtown once every decade. I got that award from doing a lot of things as far as I've been doing. It's just I can go through the book, but I don't want to do that right now. But Greg, just tell them what some other things that we have in mind.
Yeah, no, that's good, Sly. One of the areas that I feel like that we have to give back is I have my background is for the last 22 years I'm in the parking industry, which is anywhere you pay to park. Hopefully, we have something to do with the various technology that you encounter. But with that being said, it's I've done sales, managed people, managed multiple people, multiple facilities, all kinds of different things that I've learned along the way. And not saying anything about me, but I've picked up various types of skills along the way, whether that's working with resumes and understanding what is important to business business people when they're looking for to hire people, things to say, things to, any type of connections that I could potentially have or that we could potentially have. Sly has, one, he like he said, he can cut hair if somebody, so there, we started thinking, well, what are the things that we take for granted that we could help young people that, both of us have backstories where we've we've been through things in our lives that taught us and that we've learned from, and that we've been able to rise above various things, whether it's places that we've come from and things that we've gone through in our lives. So I had a thought that if we had a once a month gathering on a Saturday morning, say, or whatever the day of the week happened to be, and bring folks together. And let's say that it started out small. We bring people in, we have a conversation. Maybe there's somebody from the community, whether it's a local business leader or someone that's done, that maybe has a good story that in the way I've always said is, if one person, because I think sometimes people, you want to make the biggest impact you can, right? You want to think that you're going to be able to change the world with a thought or with something that that you think is important. But I've always tried to remind Slack, sometimes as we've gone through these things, we've hit various roadblocks, ran into various things, and learned a lot along the way. And I've always said, you know what, if one person is able to be influenced in a positive way based on something that we had something to do with, then it's all worth it. So I say that. So if we have this small event where we bring folks together, we understand what people's potential needs are, whether it's, is it do they need some kind of clothing to get in a better position? Do they need food? I mean, are there physical things that are, because a lot of times, there's physical needs people have that will impair them from being able to rise above certain things. So it's thinking of the physical things. It's thinking of, potentially the skills that folks could have, and help young people kind of assess those things. And then if we're able to find, and let's say there's one or two people or whatever it is, hopefully more, but if it's only one in the course of doing this monthly exercise, and one person wants more, they want to understand, they need help with a contact, they need help getting a resume completed, they need a haircut, they need, we have access to various resources within the community that do all kinds of different things that could help people. So that's sort of the idea in a nutshell.
Man, that's beautiful.
It is. It is.
That's something I'm going to speak for us. We'd like to tap into you guys.
Sure.
We're all in Surrey County, and we want to support you guys as well. And it looks like there are some things that we could bring back this way as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. And when I look at Bridge of Unity, and I think back just what Scott said earlier, it was 2020. We were dealing with COVID. We're dealing with George Floyd. Did you feel like at that time it was needed? Do you think that was needed at the time to unify the community, or is that what your motivation was behind it? Because it was very tense. Everybody remembers that time in the world, period, how it was. Kind of talk about that a little bit.
Well, nah, man. Actually, George Floyd didn't have any type of moderations of why I did what I did. Like I said, mine was a year before George Floyd. I proclamated the Juneteenth before that. Small story. I'm from Goldsboro, North Carolina. I have a different outlook about that scenario. Of course, it was a horrendous incident, and a lot of people came together for it. But where I'm from, it's a 36 worst place to live violently in the state of North Carolina. Goldsboro, North Carolina is. Actually, they made a movie, American Gangster, about our city. You know what I mean? The Denzel Washington movie. My thing about that, man, I watched people from afar march, come together, the whole nine. And my idea of thinking was, how long? And it's going to snap back to the reality after this right here, that we're still not unified. You know what I mean? I've seen people go to different various states to go march when they didn't do it in their hometown when little Ray got shot in their backyard. My thing is more so like we have to do this at home first. So the George Floyd incident didn't have a big effect on me, coming from a city where there's a lot of violence, because there's a lot of things that didn't happen for just as we speak right now. In the last 2 days, 3 to 4 people just got killed, young people, 15 years old in Goldsboro, North Carolina. I don't see the marches. I don't see all the outsources that people have for George Floyd, whom I didn't know. So no, it didn't have any effect on me because of that. Juneteenth was its own entity for me. Juneteenth was something that just wasn't happening in my city. And with that being stated, when the George Floyd and COVID thing happened, of course, no one could come out unless they were essential. The COVID was more so the reason I felt Juneteenth was really live, as well as the outburst with the George Floyd, because the George Floyd had a different effect for Juneteenth, because a lot of people were nervous to come out because they thought that our Juneteenth was celebrating for George Floyd. They didn't understand the history of Juneteenth of 1865 versus George Floyd in 2021. You know what I mean? So my thing is the two things didn't have anything to do with what I was doing. You know what I mean? So like I said, it was a horrendous scenario with George Floyd, and and my heart went out to him as well as any other Black Americans out here that's being victims of violence and things like that. You know what I mean? But my thing is the outroar that we did Juneteenth had nothing to do for it. About that, it was just basically bringing people together to celebrate the first time in America that everybody was considered Americans. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's what Juneteenth was with me. From 1776 to 1865, we were not included. You know what I'm saying? In any of the writings, the bills, or any of the anything that was written. And at that 1865 down there, actually it was 1863. It took 2 years for them to get to the last people in 1865 down in Galveston, Texas. And my thing is, man, it's a beautification of just bringing people together. I'm in an area just predominantly Republic state. This is a Republican city. You know, you're from Surrey County. But where I am in Juneteenth, I think it's a beautiful sight to see people who I would have never thought that would come and enjoy Juneteenth. It took 4 years for people to understand that this is just not for us. It's for us to celebrate America's history for Black people. You know what I'm saying? If you want to be encouraged, if you want to be involved, if you have a friend that's of culture, of the American culture, of African American, hey, come out and enjoy. This is not a incident for just us, only for us. It's not FUBU. You know what I'm saying? This is for everybody. But we want everybody to understand that we are a part of this American culture now. We deserve the rights of all Americans. You know what I mean? And this is the equality date that I'm trying to get people to see, that when we're here together, having fun, eating, loving, laughing, and doing things, that's what America should look like every day. And that's my purpose. You know what I mean? So that's to answer the question. It didn't have any effect on me. It was just the fact that this needed to happen to let people know that we are here, we are alive, American people, and we are equal. You know what I mean? And everybody needs to come out and enjoy.
Got you.
Did you get any pushback when you originally came up with it?
Oh yeah. So, all right. It was funny because Greg, I'm gonna let you get in, Greg. It was funny because when George Floyd happened, we got so many sponsors. They felt pressured to sponsor because the whole America was marching. You know what I mean? And after the George Floyd, sponsors started dropping off. You know what I'm saying? And then the realism, that's what I was telling you, the snapback happened. The real America came back. So, now when people still hear Juneteenth, sometimes it's still like, they act as if they don't know, and some just don't know, because this is the South. You know what I mean? And so we did have a lot of pushback, and but we kept pushing forward. And this is why this is our fourth year.
Okay. So, Greg.
Yes, sir.
I'm just looking at everybody on here. You look different.
Hey man, that's my brother. He looks just like me. You look just like me, Eric.
I just came with glasses.
Just a little bit.
That's my mama's boy.
You feel any is there different treatment for you?
I'll just go. I'm always honest, and sometimes I'm too honest. But I'll just say this: yes, I'll say I've learned a lot along the way. I've always tried to empathize with others as much as I can. I grew up a single mother. I had a man that came in my life when I was in my teens who I absolutely love. Still calling my dad today, but he and my mom are no longer together. So I understand certain situations. I understand what it's like to be me, but I've never once, I've never said, never will say that I know what it's like to be to be of any other color than what I look when I look in the mirror.
And Greg, you can say black. Greg, quit choking up. You can say black.
I ain't trying to dance around. I'm just
saying, man. Say black.
I don't know nothing other than black. Cool. But as I've gone through this, it's funny. So when we first started 4 years ago, and it was all kinds of people, and it wasn't but a couple white people, and I was one of them. And then it just ended up being me and Sly. And then as we start rolling down the road, I'm like, okay, well, if I'm gonna be the one doing this, as far as like trying to figure things out, so I'd go running down one trail, and it'd be like, well, do you have this? Do you have that? I'm like, nope, I ain't got that. And I kept running. And then they're like, what kind of event you got? And I'm like, it's a Juneteenth event. And they was like, Juneteenth. I was like, yeah, Juneteenth. And then it's like, I'm trying to explain. And they're like, well, why? Almost like, well,
why are you doing it?
Why are you doing it? Like the white people don't want to know why I'm doing it, and the black people don't want to. They skeptical. Like, I don't really get this. Why are you doing it? So it's so it's almost like both sides, or to not call it sides, but you know what I'm saying. But both parties are looking at me like, what is this guy up to right here?
Yeah, they had questions. They had
stories, and Sly can tell you a story about that. But
what's the question? We had a lady come all the way down. So, we do the WXI, and we do a whole lot of advertising. We everywhere with our advertising. And as a matter of fact, we come to Mount Airy today and drop a lot of stuff out there. But this lady, she came from Greensboro, North Carolina. So what happened was there was a WXI interview for my very first Juneteenth, and I was out of state. I took a trip out of state, and the interview was in Elkin, and we got our dates all messed up. So I told Greg, "Hey, Greg, listen, I'm not there to want to do this interview. Go ahead and do it for me." He was all nervous and the whole nine, and so the interview comes. He's talking about Juneteenth, and I looked at it. I thought, "Hey, man, you did your thing." Joe, he was sharp. He was dressed up like an old church boy and the whole nine. I was like, "Boy, looking good up there." And so when we get to the Juneteenth, and all of a sudden, man, I'm enjoying myself, and a lot of my people that I know was like, "Hey, Sly, there's some lady. She's adamant about finding out, where you are, and she wants to talk to you." And I'm like, "All right." And so he pointed her out to me, so I go to her, and she was like, "What type of propaganda is this?" She said, "Who is Greg?" And I'm like, "Greg is the president of Juneteenth. Why you let a white man?" Now she's from Greensboro. She came all the way down here to see what the Juneteenth was about. What type of job does she have, Greg?
She works for the state.
Yeah, she was somebody important. Yeah, and she came down and she was like, "How dare you let a white man talk about Juneteenth on television for us?" And I was like, well, who are you talking about? So I looked at Greg and I seen Greg. I said, "Greg, come here for a minute." I said, "This woman has a problem with you doing the Juneteenth on television." So I just basically, we spoke nicely to her, but she was a hothead. I asked her, I said, "Hey, let me ask you a question." I said, "What is Juneteenth?" You know what I'm saying? And she gave me the generic version, what most people would think. And I just told her, I said, "Hey, listen, do you know if it wasn't for these white people that came and told us we was free 2 years ago, that we still would have never known that we was free?" You know what I mean? So, I mean, let's think about it. I mean, so why can't this gentleman, and not only did you know, if you know your history, not all white people was enslaving blacks. Actually, Harriet Tubman had more white people helping her with the Underground Railroad. So we can't look at everybody as if they hated us as blacks, because some white people was toe tag nigger lovers and hung right beside the slaves trying to escape. So my thing is, the history is beautiful, man. But my thing is, ignorance is not a negative thing. Is I just feel like people need to become more aware of education. And when you ask people questions, basically have all your I's dotted, T's crossed, because you never know who you're talking to when it comes to the educational part. And my thing is, he had just as much right to speak on Juneteenth as I do. You know what I mean? Because the thing is, I can speak about July 2nd just as well as people did that's a Caucasian. I know the history. I mean, so I don't think the spokesman should be killed. He's just the messenger. I think the message should be listened to. And if it's right, then therefore it should be okay. And he didn't speak nothing negative, I didn't think. He spoke highly about the issue of Juneteenth itself, and broke down the history of Galveston, Texas, talk about how the red color is significant with Juneteenth. I mean, it's cool, man. But yeah, I think he got a lot of pushback, but that's my brother.
Hey, here's the thing: you have permission from. I'm a blanket speak for all Black people. You have permission when they ask you why you're doing it to tell them you didn't start it. You wasn't gonna do it. I'm trying to help you. And
hey man, thank you, Pastor. It's always to the point where, man, I don't go. We ain't gonna go there. We're gonna stick on Juneteenth.
But you're right. But he's got a point though. Everybody's worried about the visual, what it looks like. But if you're getting stuff done, doesn't matter what you look like. If you're on the right side, if you're trying to do the right thing, just make it happen, man. Get past all that visual stuff, all that prejudice and stuff like that. That's what it's,
I've even came to Slides. It was probably, I think it was 2 years ago. I came to Sly one time, and because because along the way, it's not like I just woke up one morning and I thought, you know what, I really want to, do something with Juneteenth, right? I mean, I've done a lot of studying about the history and what and the history, not just of the actual Juneteenth, but of how Juneteenth has been celebrated over the years, and there's even like all over the last couple hundred years, and then even in the last, like, just since the civil rights movement, how things have changed with Juneteenth events, and I even had myself convinced I wasn't the right guy, because I don't want it, and that's one of the things I came to Slide. I'm like, man, I don't want it, even though I know that it's coming from a good place in my heart. I don't want, even if it leads somebody astray, maybe I'm wrong. Like if somebody just sees it, and then Sly's like, man, we know, like just like you said, Pastor, we got a job to do. I'm trying the best I can. And Sly's trying the best he can. We're moving this thing along. And if somebody looks at it and they don't know anything about it, and they just look at it from the outside and they think it's bad, that's on them.
That's them.
Yeah. But it has been hard for me, because I don't want, like, I want to have those conversations. I want, if somebody questions my motives, I want them to come talk to me about it. Like, I don't want them to just be mad. Like, be mad, come talk to me. Like, tell me why you're mad so we can talk about it. Because I don't want you, like, the last thing I want, I do this for unity, right? I mean, that's why we did this thing to begin with, was to figure out ways that we can encourage that dialogue, encourage people to have conversations. It's gotten a world now where people would rather just get on Facebook or whatever and whether pick a side and just, go ranting and raving about something, instead of just getting together like we're doing right now and having a conversation, or even face to face in real life. Real life is even better. But
right.
Yeah.
True. So let's talk a little bit more about the event, man. Let's talk about these sponsors. Tell us a little bit about the sponsorship that you have for Juneteenth.
You want to go, Sly? You want me to throw in?
No, go ahead, Greg. Go ahead, talk to him.
Yeah. So the good news is, on the sponsorship side, we've had a couple main or several main sponsors that have stuck with us from day one. As Sly mentioned earlier, when we first started, there was a lot of question marks. There was a lot of what's Juneteenth, and there's still that. It's still people that and we don't, I know we ask about sponsors, but our Juneteenth event, as Sly has alluded to, we're not intending to have a history lesson. If you want to understand, I'll be glad if you come over and you honestly want to know what somebody honestly wants to know about Juneteenth. We can talk about it, but somebody needs to do their home. They need to go on Google and do their homework or read a book or something if that's opening what they want, a history lesson. But I say that to say, when we first started, there was getting those first few sponsors was very challenging at that particular period of time because of what you alluded to at the very beginning, with different things going on right then in America that had people's antennas up about anything that had to do with what they considered something black. Okay. Just okay. And so the sponsorship started out a little bit rocky. Even had some sponsors that have rode with us that kind of started out saying, "Hey, I want to sponsor you, but I don't really want anybody to know it." You know, like I trust you guys, but I don't want anybody to know that I'm backing this thing, right? And so some of the big ones that have stuck with us from first to last is Food Lion, the store chain Food Lion. They went from sponsoring us like a really good sponsor, but not as much, to like now being just a wonderful sponsor, and every year has grown, and it really they encourage that, and we've had multiple conversations at different levels within Food Line where it's very important to them to be a part of our event and in our community specifically. We've had G&B Energy, who has long history in and around the Tri-County area and beyond. That they have they've been in business since the 30s, and they've supported us since day one as well, providing and some of their people even provide the pigs for our cook-off. They help us with the sound system set up all through G&B and Explore Elkin, helping with those. Simmons Nissan out of Mount Airy has supported us for multiple years. Both they started out by bounce houses, and they've grown their sponsorship over time. A couple of churches in Elkin. One, the Elkin First Baptist Church, came strong this year with a sponsorship. It's very important to them, where their tagline as a church is that everyone is really welcome here. Like they mean that, and they've made a major outreach in the community to try to, I've heard it said before that Sunday morning is the most segregated. It's the most segregated few hours in America, right? Because people say, "Well, I go to this black church, or I go to this white church." I mean, church is like, when can we drop that and just go to church together? You know what I mean? But I say that to say they are First Baptist Church in Elkin is a big supporter for us this year. Hugh Chatham Memorial Hospital, Edward Jones, Frank Beals. Company I work for is called Amanu McGann, Surrey Yadkin Electric, Super Sports and Imports, Theo's, Isom Ham, Manny Dental, and that runs through. But all those and others that have both supported us financially, and those that just say a good word about us, or tell somebody about the event, or encourage others to go. We appreciate any and all of that.
I have to say that the town of Elkin, it took it. They're supporting us like a lot now. I mean, they just built the new stage. Man, it's a beautiful stage. They incorporated our Juneteenth as one of the month's festivals in their catalogs, and that's big. Explore Elkin. I know he spoke of G&B and said about Explore Elkin, but Explore Elkin, G&B and Explore Elkin, they're the same people almost, but Explore Elkin has its own entity, and they do a lot of things out here, and we're gonna partner with those guys. And guys, with you guys in Surrey, man, wherever you guys have, we would like to partner with multiple people, man. We're naming these sponsors now, and I'm thinking, I hope that you do put this up there about our sponsors. But at the same time, we're looking to network with anybody who's willing to make a difference in the communities. And so you can put that out there. If I can go ahead and put it out there right now, I'll just say, hey, listen, Bridge of Unity is looking to network with anybody out here that's trying to make change in culture.
Right. That's good. Get it out there, man. So what can people expect this year, man, as far as the event itself?
Man, listen.
I know it's a lot, but I'm ready. Go for it.
So I'm gonna just be honest with you, man. When we put forth this thing, I told Greg, and we start out with small money. People thought we had a lot of money, but we start. Hey, I'm a gambler, bro. I roll the dice. So we only had like a couple $1,000 that we made off the first one. And the first one, man, the reason we had a good rep on the first one because I told you everybody wanted to do it because it's situation that was happening, which took advantage of. But at the end of the day, after we spent that money, we only had like $2,000 something in our account. So I told Greg, hey, listen, we're going all out, bro. We're going to come out of our pockets. We're going to do this. We're just going to do it. If we lose, we lose. But we have to have a second Juneteenth. So that's what we did. And, man, it's been phenomenal since then. But we started out and said that we're going to be known, Elkin, North Carolina, going to be known for the biggest Juneteenth and surrounding areas. In Winston-Salem, we smacked them last year. So my thing is, we do what we're supposed to do. So this year, guys, June 15th, we start from 11 and we end at 7. And the thing that you can expect is the first hour of that 11 to 12 o'clock. We just want you to just go out and just get the vision first. Just see what it's about. There's going to be vendors out there. Go check out the vendors. It's going to be soft music playing in the background, so they can have that little vibe, that morning vibe. Bring your kids out because we want kids to come out early because we know it's going to be plains and hot later on, hopefully no rain. From 11, 12, you can do the food trucks and see what we got. And at 12 o'clock to 2 o'clock, we're going to have SWA wrestling. And last year we brought them for the first time. It's a wrestling event. I mean, the kids enjoy it.
I got a question about that. What is that exactly? SWA wrestling. Who like?
So the guy, his name is William. Don't you just got me? We call him Beagle, but he has this traveling wrestling event that you may have seen him in armories or something like that. They come around, they travel around and do shows. But it's a semi-pro wrestling, and these guys are trying to get into like a WWA or WWE. They're trying to get into it. So what they do, they travel.
You can't call them semi-pro now, not to the face.
Well, I better not. I got one wrestler. Hey, but listen, man, the kids love it. The parents, the adults, they get into it. They love it. They bring you in. They turn around, try to slap, like you fake slap me. I'm jumping because I'm thinking they might do it. You know what I'm saying? Just intertwining with the crowd, man. It's beautiful, man. They bring out a large crowd. Most of the kids and the adults, they get into it. It's live. So that will be from 12 to 2. All right. And if you're not into wrestling, around that 1 to 2, man, on the other side, we'll have karaoke, line dances and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So, we have people doing the karaoke. We'll have, DJ doing the cha-cha slides, let you slide, just getting it in. We're just warming you up, really what we're doing from 1 to 2. Then from that point, 3 o'clock, guys, we'll have a barbecue cook-off. That's when our barbecue should be fixed. Everything should be ready. And we have six people this time. It's going to bring you guys different varieties of barbecue, different ways to cook barbecue. We get to find out which one we like the best. You guys get to eat for $25, all you can eat all day long. You know what I mean? So it's a $25 all you can eat barbecue cook-off starting at 3 o'clock from 6 of the best cookers that we have in the surrounding areas. And we need more for next year. So I'm putting that out here for next year. We need more cookers for next year. All right. So from after that, guys, when barbecue cook-off is happening, we're going to go ahead and bring out Sierra Deans. She's from The Voice. She was on The Voice. She went deep in The Voice. She's beautiful. Her voice is just different. She can range from anywhere from country rock, R&B to old school. She's a beast. You know what I'm saying? So she was on The Voice, so she'll be there from 3 to 4. All right. And then we have another band that's out of Charlotte, Mount Airy, actually. We got a drummer from Mount Airy out there. It's called Collective Vibes. I think one of the drummers out there, I forgot his name, but anyway, they're called Collective Vibes. I went personally, and I always go personally to check out all my artists. So I went personally out here. They were close to me in Winston-Salem at this bar. I tell you, they bring sparks. They ready. The guitarist is a monster. The drummers are a monster. The girls can sing. The boys can sing. The stage performance is like crazy. You know what I mean? So you can go ahead and you catch them right there. They start at 45. But now my finale would be this right here. For 4 years straight, I tried not to bring these girls every year. I tried because they cost a little bit. And I tried not to bring them so I could bring other people. But people always want to see these girls, man. They're from New Orleans. And I flew out to New Orleans and went down Bourbon Street. They're like the #1 band in New Orleans. And they call Retro Punks. And they're going to be doing their thing from like 5 to 7, man. When I tell you, I ain't got to tell you nothing. I let Greg take because Greg loved those girls. Greg,
they like that.
Greg, hey, listen, I challenge anybody, and I'm gonna tell you, I challenge anybody to bring me any bands that's better than any one of these 2 bands right here that I got. And you bring them down, and I guarantee you, I mean, I might pay for them myself. But I don't from the stage performance to the range of music to the sounds, from the soprano, baritone, all the way down to the tenor. I mean, they can go anywhere, any songs, and do anything. And the band can play any song. They got a tip bucket. If you put a tip in there, they'll play any song and sing it just like they do. That's how quick they are with music.
Yeah, I like that when they do that. That's cool.
So it's a whole day of events, man. Food trucks popping. We got people cooking fish, oxtails, dropping fried chicken out, man. It's just come on out, man. It's gonna be packed, man. We got bounce houses for the children out there going on, man. Hope I ain't leaving nothing out, Greg.
Nope, no, you pretty much hit it. As far as we got at least 10, 12-ish different food vendors, all kinds of different foods, from burgers, lemonades, kettle corn, funnel cakes, milkshakes, cheesecakes, crab burgers, shrimp burgers, alligator on a stick. There's one truck called Mermaids on the Go. They got all kinds of different seafoods and things. Then Crazy Dog, which is a Mexican food truck. Then like Sly said, fish, oxtails, all just any kind of food you could imagine. Plus, not to mention the barbecue cook-off. So it's going to be, and that again, just to tie back up with Bridge of Unity. What are the things that we can all agree on? We like to have fun.
Music,
food, and we like fellowship, right?
And music.
Fellowship. And if you got a problem with that, you probably don't want to come.
Right.
But because that's what it's all about. We're gonna have plenty. There should be plenty of smiling, plenty of good times. So.
And this year, Greg, this for the first time we have beer on tap. We have beer on tap for the first time. We try to stay away from any alcohol beverage, but it seems to be that a lot of people are asking for it. They're actually bringing it. We can't control it, so I think that we can control it just by selling it and selling it in moderation. We're not trying to get people pissy drunk or nothing like that. We just trying to capitalize and we're trying to just control our own atmosphere. You know what I mean?
This will be your test,
sir.
This will be your test.
This will be my test.
Yeah. On whether alcohol goes forward. Because if the fight break out, you'll be like, yeah, nah.
Oh,
we tried, it didn't work.
And the thing is, Pastor, for the last 3 years, when we didn't have beer, they were bringing hard stuff. You know what I mean? So my thing is, we're just thinking to ease the tension of people just bringing whatever. We'll just let them know not to bring anything. Alcohol is not available here, but I mean, not to bring it in, which we can't moderate.
Get it here.
We'll let them know and try to maintain it ourselves. That was our only thing. We really didn't want any alcohol at all in our events.
Yeah, and then last year there was a new ordinance. I think it's what they call it in town, where there's within a certain area of the city, they have what they call the social district. So what was happening is there was different places, which is fine. There's different places around where we were having our facility that were all selling alcohol, and then the people just carried on to our place.
Bring it in.
Well, and if we can, as an organization, on some level, we want to be able to make money too, so we can have better have events in the future. So if we can help control that, so we got our ABC 1-day ABC permit to be able to handle it on site. So if people still want to buy it wherever and walk on, we can't stop them from doing that. But at least if they want a cold beer right there on, it's just beer. We're not having full bars or anything like that. But if it just gives them something so that if and we can participate in just financially in the sale of that versus them having to go somewhere else to get it. So
right.
Yeah. And I think for the most part, man, it's good how we carry ourselves as very respectful. People respect. They don't even curse in my barbershop. They don't have the pants sagging and come in there upright. So I know that with Greg and I, when they come, they know it's our event. You know what I mean? They seem to be on the same behavior because of the respect that we have in the community. Now it may be different because people may come that don't know us. But with that being stated, I hope that we like to speak and talk to everybody that we don't know, welcome them, and thank them for coming, and hopefully that they can see the mannerism that we have, and hopefully they can carry the same mannerism while they're there and when they leave. So, like you said, every time something gets bigger and bigger, it seems like it gets a little bit unbearable. But I think the people will enjoy. I think they will respect, and we're not really trying to wonder about that right now. Hopefully, it goes good.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I mean, because that's the only one I hear about. To be honest with you, I mean, y'all the one in Elkin.
That's what we wanted. That's what we aimed for.
Y'all the one, and not in Winston. No, not the other big Greensboro. It's Elkin. Everybody goes to that one. So I'm gonna be there this year. This will be my first year coming out. So I'm gonna check y'all out.
Well, we'll give you guys a big shout out. You guys aren't shy, man. We want to see your face when we do shout outs. Let them know. Tune into the podcast, man. Coaching, man, this thing right here is gonna be right. You know what I'm saying? We definitely want to do Coaching No Cap again if we possibly can, man. We'll let people know about you guys. Like I said, if you feel comfortable, come on up, man. Let people know who you are. Bring some business cards. Do whatever you want to do. Solicit at our spot, man. Make it known. I mean, even if you guys got a little small setup, you want to do it, put your banner out there, Coaching No Cap. We don't care, bro. Invite you to the city, man, and become a part of this Juneteenth, man. You know what I mean?
Hey, man, we appreciate it, man. We appreciate y'all coming on here.
I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, I want to make sure we got the information out there. June 15th, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., 257 Stanley Street in Elkin, North Carolina.
Standard.
Oh, Standard Street. Well, see, I'm glad I corrected that. Standard Street in Elkin, North Carolina.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right. And Tamika Nicole is opening. I didn't catch that, right?
Hey, Zach, and I'm sorry about that. She will be opening around 2:00. And hey, listen, and I'm sitting here looking at my flyer. This is the old one. I got her on another page. She will be out there.
Okay.
Tanika Nicole. And from my understanding, she just put an album out, and so she's gonna have about 15 to 30 minutes out there. I hope she rocks it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's cool, man. Hey, thank y'all for coming, man. I appreciate y'all coming on the show.
Thank y'all very much.
Absolutely.
Everybody
come out and support all areas. Elkin, North Carolina, June 15th, the big party, man. It's the biggest one around.
Hey, come out and support Coaching No Cap. Hey, if y'all ain't on this right here, you ain't on the right page, baby.
Hey, appreciate it, bro.
Yes, sir.
Have a good one now.
Take care.
All right, it's been Coaching No Cap. Peace.